Well, let's talk about full-length portraits. We've done all of this torso stuff and headshot stuff. What does it take to photograph a full-length portrait? And because you're dressed so snazzily today, I like your shoes. You have great shoes and jeans. Would you mind if you were my model for this? It's very kind of you. You look good. And we're going to use the seamless on. You know what? I take that back. I think we'll do brick because the seamless has the tape on the ground. And so for this, yeah, go ahead and stand about right there. That's great. Okay. When we do full-length portraits, we need to illuminate from head to toe. So the shoes are just as important as the pants, which are just as important as the head and face, okay? So it's hard to do that with one light source. You can almost do it with that giant umbrella. How tall are you? You're 5'10", 5'9", 5'10". So that's too tall. That's too tall to do with let's say a 5-foot umbrella. Really, you want the umbrella or the light source to be about as big as the thing you're photographing. So if he's about a 6-foot guy, you want about 6 feet of lighting to illuminate that well. One option is to use something called a V-flat. A V-flat is a very tall, I use corrugated plastic. You can use door panels, whatever, and you hinge them at the middle. So what a V-flat does is basically it's about this tall, and it kind of wraps around your subject. Maybe it's about 4 or 5 feet away, and you light the inside of that V-flat, then you get a lot of light washing onto the subject. You really need big modifiers for full-length subjects. Well, let me show you how to do this if you don't have the big honkin' modifiers. I'm going to show you how to do it with a softbox and an octabox. And really, all we're going to do is we're going to stack them. Oh, I'll do this. Pull this out of the way. My radio trigger is blocking the rotation, so I'm going to pull that radio trigger back a little bit. And because I like the look of the softbox as a catch light, I'm going to have this one higher. About right like that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in my octa and put it about right here. Again, using my favorite little low light stand. This one. Okay. And you can do this with umbrellas. Umbrellas work great for this. Smaller, like the 42-inch umbrellas, they'll work just fine. Yeah, so you can see we're just trying to get about 6 feet vertically of light. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to pull them off axis a little bit more so my camera can get in there. Okay, power. I'm still at a half power from before, so I'm going to reduce that down. Go back to maybe 16th, and 16th. Super duper. And then our background lights, let's do, feeling rimmy today. You feeling rimmy? Do that. And I'll do kind of a hard rim. I'm going to take the diffusion panel off and just kind of shoot it right at the back of his shoulder and neck. And power, we'll put it at 16th power as well. I could also use a snoot for this to keep the light even more concentrated, but we'll see how that works. Again, I'm just trying to draw a line right to the back of his head. Okay, there you have it. That's the full-length portrait scenario. I like the pose. I'm gonna have it go that way about 3 inches. Yeah, cool. And I like the pose standing on that back foot, hands in the pocket. That looks great. You've done this before. I know you're a portrait photographer. Yeah, you're on the other side of the camera. Oh, you know what? I've got a 70 to 200. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get back far enough. Ooh, just barely, just so. Okay. We are connected. Cable's okay. Yep. Cool, man. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we'll see what that looks like. You are not a group. So, what do we got to do? We got to increase the power of the foreground lights. Oh, and I'm still at f11. One of my rules in photography, I keep forgetting to follow my own rules, but one of my rules is anytime I change something significant on the set, I just go back through and push all the buttons. Just double check everything. It'll save you a lot of embarrassing moments like this one. I'm so embarrassed, I'm flush. Not really. So I'm going to go back to f5.6, and I'm at ISO 400. Yep. And I'm at 1/250th of a second. And we're just going to shoot that same thing again. And I can already tell that background, or that hair light's going to give me a problem. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Take one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's better. I'm liking it. I can Photoshop those light stand legs out. A little bit tight on space there. I might take it again. If I did take it again, I'd move the stand out. That's okay. Let's zoom in and see if we got critical focus. Oh yeah, look good. We got focus on him. And I don't know, is this coming through on the monitor for those? Can you see this bright? Yeah, see that right there? That lit flare? That flare is coming from that background light. How do we deal with flare? Well, I haven't talked about this at all today, but we use something called a flag. And a flag is something as simple as a piece of paper taped onto the edge of the flash to prevent that flash from coming into the lens of the camera. Also using lens hoods is a big help for flare reduction. But in this case, I'm not going to take the time to flag it out, but the idea is just take some gaff tape and a piece of black paper and tape it on this side of the flash, and you'll eliminate any of that lens flare. So there's a full-length portrait. And we could add in some background lighting, but that would be duplicating kind of what you guys already have learned today. So So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you guys how to photograph some still life. And so what we've got for you is we've got a wine and cheese plate that we're going to photograph. I'm going to show you how to use strip lights to get a really nice reflection on that. And we'll do a bunch of different lighting scenarios. And see from the camera perspective on set, does this angle work better? Yeah. Okay, great. Pull our awesome orange chair out. Okay. And I'm going to give myself some space behind it and in front of it. So this should also be instructive to you to understand that you need to have space all around your set so that you can adjust your lighting. And if your stuff is, if you're in a small room, sometimes you just don't have space behind it. So we got good space all around. So what we've got here is we've got some grapes. We've got some awesome cheese, and the cheese is marbled. And so the cheese has lots of color here. And then we've got some crackers, and we got this wine bottle. And we took the label off the wine on purpose because I want to show you how to create kind of these vertical strips of light on the wine bottle. That's important. You don't want your wine reflections to be round. Ideally, you like to have these strips. So let's do some tabletop food photography. And we're going to work kind of fast here, and it's probably not going to be perfect, but it'll be good enough, and you'll get the idea for how this works. Let's start with one light. I'm going to start with my soft box. Have you guys heard of strip lights before? Strip lights? And what a strip light is basically a very skinny soft box. A strip light would be maybe half the width of this or a quarter the width of this. Typically, we use strip lights when we're photographing wine bottles. That's very common. That's what gives us the nice reflection on that wine bottle, the nice vertical, tall reflection. So for this, I'm just going to put that right there. It's not a perfect strip light. If you don't have strip lights, like you don't even necessarily need to buy strip lights, you can just use black paper. Get some big craft paper and just tape the paper so it covers half of either side of your softbox, and then you've got this nice strip. That works out just great. Okay. So this is my Apper light. This is my $40 flash. I've currently got it at 1/16 power. I think that's probably going to be okay. We'll leave it there. Next up, oh boy. Let's think, I'm just going to use one light here in the foreground for now. Let's think about the background light. I probably want to have some type of rim lighting to kind of separate the food items from the background. So to do that, I might use a softer light overall. I think I'll use an umbrella. That makes sense to me. And by the way, Creative Live has a really awesome food photography class. Kenna, maybe you could tell people how they could find that.
Sure, Mike. We actually have a number of food photography classes. So if you go to our catalog under the photography part and click on food or search food, that is probably the easiest way to find them, but some awesome classes over the years.
I've watched a few of them, and I'm just in awe of what these people can put together. I'm not a food photographer. I aspire to be one, but with enough lighting modifiers, you can simulate what they do. Watch the class though, because there's a lot of techniques that I'm not going to really show today that can really set your food photography apart from the rest. So this is going to be our kind of our rim light, and I might have to end up using the boom arm to get this out of the way. I don't want any of this to kind of show up as a reflection on my wine bottle. So if it does give me a reflection, well, okay, I'm going to have to change things up a bit. So this one is currently at 1/16 power as well. So I've got two flashes for this scenario, and I'm going to start there. If I bring in more lights, I might actually just bring in a reflector, and we'll see how that works with the reflector. Okay, I'll pull off our Tether Tools table so everybody can see. And I'll still use this lens. I'm thinking about changing out to my 24-70, but we'll start with the 7200. Okay. Depth of field is an issue, right? So probably go to F11. Going to need a little more aperture, a little more depth of field. So I went to F11. Haven't made any other changes. All the powers on the flashes are still at 1/16 power. Let's see what we've got. Here we go. Picture number 1. Not bad. So let's look at the issues here. Issue number 1 is it's a little dark. Okay, we can deal with that. We'll just increase the power. Issue number 2, the reflection on the wine bottle only extends half of the way down the edge of the wine bottle. Okay, so what does that mean? It means I have to get my softbox a little bit lower. I'm going to do that real quick here. Okay, come on. There we go. And actually, to do this, I think I might, would you come up and just hold this for me? That way we can make some moves a little bit faster. Just hold it about right there. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
There.
Yeah, that's good. And then I'm going to increase the power to 1/8 power. And also I'm going to increase the power on this one to 1/8 power. Probably should go 2 stops brighter, but that's good enough for now. There we go. And while we're doing that, I'm going to pull, would one of you come up and hold a reflector for me? Just to show that you don't necessarily have to have 5 lights to pull this off. Oh yeah, that's looking a little better. Still not perfect, but what I want you to do is just to hold that about right there. Yeah, and that'll shed a little bit more light on the scene. I'm going to increase the power in this one. So 1/4 power, and I want you to drop it down a little bit more and actually come over this way a little bit, right there. Perfect. And this back one, I'm also going to go back up to 1/4 power. Sweet. I think this will be our last shot of this one. I have a good feeling. Yeah, that's going to look good. Here we go. 1, I don't have to tell the thing 1, 2, 3. It's an inanimate object. You see all the little conversations I have in my head. Oh yeah, that's looking better. So, okay, cool. Thank you guys. If you want, you can just set that one down on the ground, face down. Yeah, and you can just lean that one right there against the table. Not a bad shot. I still, given more time, I would actually take some more time to get that reflection just right on the wine bottle. But you get a good feel for what it takes to create a nice lighted look, a nice lighting on a still life object. Some of the things we did here is we arranged the food, we kind of sliced some cheese off to make it look a little bit more appealing. And then, of course, taking that label off the wine bottle allows us to have that reflection on there. I didn't get the reflection perfect, but with a little more time and maybe moving the light in a little closer, would have done it. So, 5 lights. 5 lights in the studio. 5 lights is difficult to work with. Initially, it can be a little bit daunting, a little bit intimidating, but hopefully today I've showed you that you can, fairly simply and straightforward, you can create a nice look with 5 lights. My encouragement to you is start with 1, go to 2, and then 3, and then 4 and 5. Work at it systematically. Make a change on 1 light, then bring in the other lights and make a change with that. We showed you lots of different lighting modifiers. That was a lot of fun to see the differences between the strip boxes and the octas and the soft boxes. So hopefully you learned a thing or two today about multiple flash photography. So follow me on Instagram, of course. That's at Mike J. Hagan. The J stands for John, so at Mike J. Hagan. On Facebook, we've got Visual Adventures Co. It's from Visual Adventures Company. And then you can find me on Twitter at Mike J. Hagan. But I try to stay active on there, and I always get back to people right away or as soon as I can. So if you guys have questions, feel free to email me. You'll find my stuff on my website, visadventures.com. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I love bantering back and forth with people out there, and I love being helpful. So use me, but don't abuse me.